Okay, thank you very much. First, I want to start by apologizing. We were supposed to hold this briefing slightly earlier than this, but because of logistical challenges, we didn't have the members here in good time. With me here are some of the members of the organizing committee of the People's Assembly. We have Mr. Bram Simiyu, Koitamet Olekina, and Dr. Noah Akala. My name is Udur Ongwen. We have also Mrs. Hamida Kibwana, who because of some challenges is unable to stand. She's here, but she'll not be part of this briefing. And we have apologies from our other members. Dr. David Ndi went back to Kwale to bring up his family. I'm sure you are aware of what happened to Dr. Ndi since last weekend, and the family had remained down there in Kwale. So after his release, he had to go back to them, and therefore he wasn't able to make it here in good time. We also have apologies from Senator Judy Sijeny, who has gone to hospital. She was indisposed. Honorable Peter Mathuki is dealing with an election petition, and therefore is caught up in Machakos, and therefore was unable to be with us. But they are all part of the team that developed the briefing that we are just about to give you. So as you are aware, this committee was launched last Friday with a mandate to oversee the preparations, develop content and roadmap, as well as provide logistical support for the People's Assembly at both county and national levels. So why People's Assemblies? When the people of Kenya gave unto themselves a new constitution in August 2010, their collective hope was that they had buried a political culture where elections were mere periodic rituals, and ushered in an enduring era of genuine democratic exercises where their votes would count and be counted. These beliefs and hopes have been crushed by divisive politics that benefits a minority. The country is rapidly and steadily being driven along the path of autocracy, and therefore, instead of electoral democracy, we have a leadership that prefers electoral authoritarianism. Electoral theft has become the preferred means of attaining the aim of installing tyrannical rule in Kenya. Equally alarming is the emergence of a trend where some businesses are profiting from bad governance at the expense of democracy and the people. It is therefore incumbent upon Kenyans to rise up and defend their hard-won constitutional order. Specifically, Article 3, Clause 1 of our Constitution places an obligation on each of us to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. So in fulfillment of this noble obligation, we, the people of Kenya, are called upon to directly exercise our sovereignty as affirmed in Article 1 of our Constitution. We are therefore happy to unveil the roadmap to the People's Assembly. Starting with the goals and objectives of the Assembly, the end game of the Assembly will be for Kenya to either return to democratic governance by holding a free and fair election in the next 6 months, or pursue avenues for self-determination for those who believe in democratic constitutionalism. This is to be realized through a number of objectives, which include defending the nation's constitution, restructuring institutions of governance, pursuing and institutionalizing electoral justice, insulating devolved governments from national governments' threats, and fostering economic liberation. The foregoing objectives have to be realized through 4 thematic areas, which will be the subject of the working committees of the Assembly. The first thematic area will be restoration of democracy, rule of law and constitutionalism, with a focus on representation of the people, electoral system, management of elections, and institutions that manage elections. The second thematic area will be restructuring the Kenyan state, which shall focus on the architecture, structures, and workings of the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, and independent institutions and offices. The deliberations under this thematic area will also focus on national and subnational security architecture, questions on the code of conduct of security agencies, and as to whether or not we should devolve our security agencies will be on the table. The third thematic area is defending devolution. The Assembly will look into, among other questions, the issues of resourcing and the autonomy of county governments, and whether or not the county governments are ripe for a full federal system. And this will include dealing with issues of self-determination. The fourth thematic area will be the economic liberation, where the focus will be on the promotion of economic productivity that engenders inclusivity, equity, and social progress. The structure of the Assembly. The Assembly will be held at 2 levels. That is, at county level and national level. And at county level, this will be the composition of the Assembly. The county's governor, deputy governor, all MPs, that is from National Assembly and Senate, that come from that county, all the members of the county assemblies, 1 civil society organization representative per ward, 1 faith-based organization's representative per ward, 2 women leaders per ward, 2 youth leaders per ward, 1 person with disability per ward, 1 business community representative per ward, and 3 persons representing minorities or marginalized populations in that county, and accredited observers. And each assembly at the county level will be held for 1 day. At the national level, this will be the composition. All governors, or in their absence, the deputy governor will attend as an alternate. All the speakers of county assemblies, all members of parliament, a leader of majority party from each county assembly, leader of minority party from each county assembly, 2 representatives per constituency, 1 man and 1 woman, 2 youth representatives per county, again balanced gender-wise, 1 person with disability representative per county, 1 civil society organizations representative per county, 1 faith-based organizations representative per county. Then we'll have 10 representatives each from these categories at national level: civil society organizations, and at least 1 of those representatives shall be a person with disabilities. Representatives of professional associations at national level, which, as I said, should also be 10. We'll have 10 representatives of faith-based organizations, 10 representatives of business associations, 10 representatives of trade unions, and 1 representative each from the following institutions: the judiciary, each independent commissioner office, National Police Service, Kenya Defense Forces, and prisons. Again, at this level, we'll also have accredited observers. Now I go to a specific assembly, which is the Constitutive Assembly, to be held on 12th of December, that is next Tuesday. The Constitutive Assembly of the People's Assembly will be held, as we have said, on 12th of December. This will be a 1-day event whose program will be as follows. We'll open with a national anthem, followed by prayers led by various religious leaders. Then there will be a formal declaration of the congregation gathered there to be the Constitutive Assembly of the People's Assembly. The 4th item will be adoption of the agenda. The 5th item will be the inauguration of the leadership. 6th will be addressed by the leaders of the assembly. 7, adoption of Assembly's work program, including schedules of the national conventions. I want to clarify here. At the beginning, we have the Constitutive Assembly, and at the end, we'll have conclusive assembly. All these will bring all Kenyans that wish to participate. However, there will be formal national conventions of the assembly, and those are the ones that will have the representatives as we have indicated. Then we'll have speeches by leaders of various delegations. 9th will be the adoption of resolutions. And 10 will be the closing address by the chairman of the People's Assembly. And thereafter, there will be a public rally. Since this committee was established last week, we have put in place a secretariat to manage the work of the preparation of the assembly. And that secretariat will be based in these premises at Okoa Kenya Center. And the head of that secretariat will be Dr. Noah Akala, who is here. So that secretariat will handle all the logistics up to and including at the Constitutive Assembly. In moving to establish this assembly, we have the following milestones. The first milestone was consultation with various stakeholders. This has already happened. There has been meeting with governors, there have been meetings with members of parliament and other stakeholders. The second milestone was to draft and share the People's Assembly motion with county assemblies. And as you are aware, there have been the tabling, debate, and adoption of these motions so far now in 14 county assemblies, and the process continues. Milestone number 4 is mini council of the People's Assembly. This is what was held recently at Manzoni, where there was the mini councils which brought together speakers, majority leaders, governors from various counties, and all members of parliament. Milestone number 5 was the establishment of the People's Assembly Organizing Committee, the team that is here. And at the beginning, I had tendered the apologies of Senator Judy Sijenyi. I'm happy she's finished at the hospital and was able to join us as we go on. So she's here. The milestone number 6 is convening the Constitutive Assembly of the People's Assembly at the national level. That is what is going to happen on Tuesday next week. Thereafter, there will be milestone number 8, which is holding the national conventions of the Assembly, and that Constitutive Assembly will give schedule of those conventions. And the final milestone will be the holding of elections under a new electoral regime, or if that can't happen, then Kenyans can decide that we are not compatible and therefore we part ways. So that is the roadmap for the People's Assembly, and we would welcome questions in areas that need further clarity. Thank you very much. Yes.
My name is Ken Mutunga. I work with NTV. The word swearing in is lost somewhere in the whole of the explanation. On Tuesday, the NASA leader, Raila Odinga, said exclusively that he'll be sworn in on Tuesday. You have elucidated all these steps, but that word is lost somewhere. Is it a change of mind, or is it within the Constitutive Assembly? Is it going to happen at that public rally that you mentioned at the end?
You know, swearing in is like saying delegates will be seated. That is a simple action. If you listen, and you will have the document, we have item number 5 there, which is inauguration of the leadership. That involves a number of ceremonies, swearing in being just one of them.
So this is a confirmation that for sure, just to keep on what my colleagues that that will be at the juncture when Raila Odinga will be sworn in, and will be sworn in as the People's Assembly leadership or the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Maybe let my colleague respond to that.
I mean, we have invited the people to the People's Assembly. There'll be activities, there'll be motions, there'll be decisions in the People's Assembly. And you are invited to come and see what happens.
And on that note of that invitation, we've seen letters around over 11 different counties. Where will be the specific venue? And sorry, my name is Amber from KTL. And if you don't mind, yesterday the Attorney General produced himself on the matter regarding the activity of the National Resistance Movement. Maybe you can just set that. So you start with telling us, as much as you invite the media, where exactly is the media being invited? Because we've seen over 10 letters to different counties. And your take on what the Attorney General produced himself yesterday regarding that activity.
Well, the head of the Secretariat will respond to some of them, and so let me just let him deal with that matter.
Noah Kala is my name, Haemba. Over and above the 10, actually there were 12 letters that were issued to various counties across the nation. We have actually received several formal requests from various counties seeking to host this very important function on Jamhuri Day next week. So the committee is currently considering these requests from the various counties, putting into consideration issues such as logistics, because members of the press, people from all over the country will want to be part of this historic event, and therefore we would want to settle at a location that is convenient for all Kenyans and easy for them to arrive at. This will be made known on Sunday. So the committee is still working on this. The second question was?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, in all of our actions and in all of our considerations, we've been working under the guidance of our very robust legal team. I'm sure members of the Fourth Estate know the membership of this legal team that has proved itself much more competent than some of the elements that were pronouncing themselves yesterday. So up until this moment, we have acted within the confines of the law, and the AG will be hard-pressed to demonstrate where, at any one point in time, the National Resistance Movement, NASA, or indeed the People's Assembly has violated the law.
Yes. Put it to you, and we've seen a few of the people of your caliber have a history in terms of what we call people who've been in the trenches or radicals in those days. Are we witnessing the same? Because we know the significance of 12th December, and we have Raila Odinga, we have the likes of Odoro Ngwen, we've seen the likes of Wafula Buke. What exactly is at play, and what will be happening on the
Bwana Haemba, people don't become radicals because it's romantic. They act because the prevailing circumstances requires those kinds of actions. So, if it was necessary in the 80s for us to go into those trenches so that we can arrive where Kenya has reached with regard to certain entitlements like freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and so on, the right to free, fair elections. It was not because it was fashionable to be radical, but it's because of the prevailing dictatorial situation at that particular time. We are witnessing a slow but steady return to those days. And therefore, I don't see why reactions should not be the same. In fact, we want to see new soldiers coming up to fight to defend this space. And right now, we have a constitution that actually demands of us. If you read Article 3:1, it says that it is the duty and obligation of every Kenyan to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution. So when we have this return to unconstitutionalism, when we have a return to autocracy, despotism, and authoritarianism, then it's a duty of all of us to rise and put the country back on the right path, because we would want to leave a better country for the next generation.
Katika structure yako kuhusiana na mabunge ya county, kuna baadhi ya taasisi za serikali ambazo umezitaja kama maafisa KDF, maafisa wa usalama na judiciary. Mpango wao ama kazi yao katika People's Assembly itakuwa nini?
Tumewaalika Wakenya kutoka sehemu mbalimbali na kuhakikisha kwamba hata taasisi hizo zimewakilishwa, kwa sababu ukijaribu kuangalia taasisi zingine ambazo zimetajwa hapo, kwanza zimeanza kupungukiwa ama hazifanyi kazi kulingana na vile Wakenya walitazamia zitafanya kazi zao. Kwa hivyo itakuwa ni nafasi nzuri kwa Wakenya kujadili na kuona changamoto zile wanapitia ndio wasiweze kutekeleza wajibu wao kama Wakenya wanavyo tarajia watekeleze.
Kwa muhtasari tu, mimi naitwa Vincent Afande, nafanya na Radio Citizen. Ningependa kwa muhtasari bwana uelezee Wakenya kwa kinaganaka kwa Kiswahili siku ya Tuesday ambayo inakuja. Hasa nini mtakachofanya wakati huo na itakuwa ni wapi?
Amtaki kusikia sauti ya mama. Okay. Okay, mnamo tarehe 12 mwezi huu kutakuwa na baraza la kwanza ya baraza la wananchi, na katika hafla hii tutakuwa na ratiba ifuatayo. Tutaanza na wimbo wa taifa. Baada ya hiyo tutakuwa na maombi ambayo yataongozwa na viongozi mbalimbali wa kidini. Alafu tutakuwa na tangazo rasmi ya hiyo baraza kuwa baraza la wananchi. Baada ya hiyo watu watakubaliana agenda ya hiyo baraza. Baadaye tutakuwa na hafla ya kuweka rasmi uongozi wa wananchi ambao itaendeza nchi mbele. Baadaye tutakuwa na hotuba za viongozi mbalimbali. Hatimaye tutakuwa na kukubaliana rasmi ratiba ya baraza la wananchi kuanzia siku hiyo mpaka tutakuwa na kongamano la mwisho. Baadaye tutakuwa na hotuba ya viongozi wa jumbe mbalimbali kutoka katika counties, kutoka katika constituencies na kutoka katika taasisi mbalimbali. Halafu baadaye kutakuwa na kongamano kukubaliana maazimio yote ambao yatakuwa yametoka katika kongamano hilo. Hatimaye tutafunga kongamano na baadaye viongozi wa kisiasa wataenda kuhutubia wananchi katika mkutano wa hadhara. Kwa ufupi, huo ndio utakuwa ratiba hiyo ya Jamhuri Day.
Kwa Kiingereza umeelezea kwamba hiyo ndio siku pia viongozi wataidhinisha, yani hiyo ndio siku pia mtafanya ile swearing ya Raila Odinga kama itakuwa siku nyingine?
Tumesema tutakuwa na kipindi cha kuidhinisha uongozi, na kuidhinisha uongozi huwa na rituals mbalimbali. Kuapisha inakuwa mojawapo ya hizo vitendo vya kuidhinisha. Kwa hivyo vile tulisema ya kwamba hatutarudi nyuma. Actually gari la NASA saa hizi haina ile gia ya kurudi nyuma, na kuanzia kesho haitakuwa hata na break. So tunaenda mbele. Tumewalika waandishi wa habari katika kongamano, na mtaona hawa viongozi. Asanteni. Yes.
When you are saying you are going to unveil the leadership, is it the leadership of the people assembly of the leadership?
We have said we are going to inaugurate, not just unveil. We are going to inaugurate the leadership. And that is what we mean. We have said we are going to inaugurate the leadership.
Come and see.
Yeah, you come and see.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Phone.
Yeah, Idi. Idi. There's another one there.
They will send.
That's the bit.
Maybe it's one of them.